Hello. Hello. How are you, dear friend, today? I hope you're doing well. Well, I have a quick question for you. Have you ever felt like you're married, but you're still lonely? Like, you're trying the best you can to connect with that man of yours, but nothing really seems to work? Yeah. Well, you're not crazy, and you're definitely not alone. You're definitely not alone because living with an autistic husband can be one of the most confusing, um, stretching, yet transformative experiences a woman can ever go through. Yes, yes, yes. Well, before we get into what we're going to talk about today, let me introduce myself. My name is Olivia Hall, and I'm your friend. I'm your sister on this neurodiverse journey called marriage. And yes, this is what we are on, a neurodiverse marriage journey. I've been married to my autistic hubby for over 25 years, and we're still growing. We're still loving each other. We're still learning about each other. We're still choosing each other every day by the grace of God. Bless the Lord. And my purpose and my heart for you, dear friend, dear sister, is to make sure that you feel seen, that you feel heard, that you feel supported, and yes, that you feel validated. Well, if that sounds like something that your heart needs, please go ahead and tap that like button and subscribe because, every week I share videos that help you find peace and connection in your marriage even when it feels hard. Yes, I do. So go ahead and tap that like button, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Okay. Well, let's get into today's topic. I'm going to take a sip first. Okay. I'm going to kind of share a little quick story with you. Is that okay? Wonderful. Well, when I first started noticing early on in my marriage, I started to notice that something was off, right? Um, And I really couldn't believe it. I was sort of in this, it felt like shock, right? I couldn't believe it. And I questioned myself and I'm like, how could I miss that my husband might be on the autism spectrum? How was that possible? I mean, I'm smart, I'm educated, I'm emotionally intuitive, I'm emotionally intelligent. How could I not see it? I didn't see it at all. And I remember thinking also, not only did I not see it in him, but was something wrong with me? What's wrong with me that I didn't see it? Right? Have you ever asked that question? And I felt like my world was like spinning. It was out of control. Everything I thought I knew about love and marriage, love and communication, it suddenly I had new questions. I'm like, I'm totally confused now. Have you ever been there? Well, then came this next wave of feelings and thoughts. And that next thought was, this is not fair. This is not fair. I didn't sign up for this. I did not ask for this. I didn't ask to be married to a man on the autism spectrum. Why me? Have you ever said that? Are you saying that now while you're watching this? You're shaking your head. Why me? Right? Why did I have to end up with a man who's wired so differently? And then, there were nights that I remember, I would ask the Lord in my prayer time, I'm like, God, why did you choose me for this? Why did you choose me to marry him? Yeah. Um, it wasn't that I didn't love my husband. I did. Yeah, I did. But I did not understand him. I didn't understand him. And I felt alone in a marriage that looked normal to everyone else. Is that you? Yeah. I felt alone. And everybody else thought, "Oh, you're doing great. You look normal. Your marriage looks normal." And I knew that it wasn't. So eventually it hit me like, this is real. My husband is autistic and it hurts. Hmm. Yeah, there were a lot of tears, a lot of tears. It's a lot of confusion. There was a lot of pain. I then, in that season, in that time, I started just furiously researching. I was researching everything. I was researching OCD. I was researching narcissism. I was looking up Asperger's, right? Everything I could find out about neurodiverse marriage, which, to be honest, I did not know that term back then. Okay. But I was just looking up everything, anything I could find, right? And then as I kind of, was going through all the research and I'm like, okay, I don't really think he's a narcissist because he doesn't have malicious intent. And then I kind of started reading a little bit more. I went down um, the Asperger's journey, which is also autism, which also is known by ASD1, right? But anyway, once I sort of started leaning and looking into autism a little bit more, I went down a checklist that I found, a checklist of common autistic traits. And guess what? Guess who was there? My husband. They might as well put a picture of him besides the traits because I'm like, yep, check, yep, check, 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 check. Right? Is that you? Yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's autistic. Yeah. And I found out my husband, all of these traits. I'm like, yeah, that's him. That's him. That's him for sure. By the way, I'm just thinking about this. If you're not sure whether your husband is on the spectrum or not, I created another video. Let me make sure in my notes that goes through 15 signs your husband might be on the autism spectrum. That's the title of the video. I'll leave that link in the description for you. So that might be interesting to check out. If you're still in the research phase and you're not sure if that's really what's going on, check that video out. I'll leave the link. So let me get back to what we were talking about. So once I understood my husband was on the autism spectrum, I found out that it didn't fix the pain. It helped me, but it in a way, but it didn't fix the pain. What it did give me, it gave it context. It validated, once I learned he was on the autism spectrum, it validated what I was feeling. Because the truth is, when you realize your marriage will look different, there is a sort of a kind of a grief that settles in. You start to grieve. There's a sense of loss. You mourn what you thought your marriage would look like. Yeah. I don't know if you're there now. I don't know if you've been there, but I did. For years, I did. And I then decided that I needed more help. I needed some more help. I needed real practical help. Okay. And so that's why I created the Peaceable Wife Quick Action Toolkit. It's this bite-sized resource with simple strategies and tools and quick wins to help you shift your marriage from survival mode into connection mode. So from survival to connection. Yeah. It's not a long program or anything like that. It's not overwhelming. Um, you'll just find hope and tools you can use beginning this week. You can start using these tools, what you learned this week. So if you're interested in that, you can find the link. I'll put the link in the description. Again, it's called the Peaceable Wife Quick Action Toolkit. Okay. Well, let's keep going. So here we are finally. What's the secret? How do you live with an autistic husband without losing your mind? How do you do it? Here's the answer. Okay. The key to living with your autistic husband without losing yourself or your mind is simple. It's very simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. Here it is. Ready? Accept who he is. I see you. You're like, is that it? No. Accept who he is because God wired him this way. In the Bible, in 1 Peter 4:8, it says, above all, love each other deeply because love covers a multitude of sins. I am a woman of faith. I'm a Christian. I'm a believer in Jesus Christ and his word. And this verse, 1 Peter 4:8, has become the heartbeat of my marriage. Yeah. Because love is what keeps your heart soft when your mind wants to harden. Yeah. It keeps your heart soft and viable when you want to walk out the door, when you maybe want to say some bad words to him and get into a heated argument, when you want to go to the divorce court, right? That's what love does. Love and forgiveness can overlook his quirks. It can overlook his emotional blind spots that he definitely has. He definitely has that. Love and forgiveness um, can overlook the things he does unintentionally that hurt you, that may hurt you. Those things that make you mad, but he doesn't do it on purpose, right? Love becomes this beautiful overarching umbrella that keeps bitterness, um, resentment, and all of those types of things, including distance, from taking over your heart and your home. Yeah, that's what love does. But here it is. Love doesn't mean being silent. You're not a doormat. Mm-mm. It doesn't mean accepting mistreatment or, ignoring your needs, right? It means responding with grace and with wisdom. So, here are 4 ways to live with your autistic husband. I'm going to give you 4 ways. Okay, you ready? You got a pencil, pen. You can always pause the video and write it down, right? You can always come back to this video, which I would love it if you do. Okay. Okay. 4 ways to live with your autistic husband and still stay whole. Okay. Keep your sanity. Number one, here we go. Number one, accept who he is by loving him. Yeah, listen, I hear you, dear friend. Number one, accept him, accept who he is by loving him. He is not broken. He's wired differently. When you accept that, dear friend, you stop trying to fix him and you start loving him through his differences. That was big. This took me a long time, you know. It took me a while to accept this. And once I did, once I accepted that he was on the autism spectrum, that my marriage would look different, I would not have the type of marriage that I thought I would, that I dreamed of emotionally, at least. Um, when I stopped that and I stopped trying to fix him, things started to shift a little, but it took me time. And that's why I'm here for you. That's why I've created the course. That's why I've put together resources for you and tools and strategies. So it doesn't take you years and years and tears and tears. And also, for number one, it's not about lowering your standards, okay? It's about adjusting your expectations so you can actually see the good that's already in him. Yeah. Number two, educate yourself about autism. Learn everything, dear friend, that you can. Learn all that you can. The more I understood why my husband did what he did, why he spoke the way he spoke, why he responded the way he did or didn't respond the way he did. It didn't feel so personal. It didn't feel like an attack. It wasn't rejection. It was neurology. It was his brain. It processes differently. When you understand his wiring and how he's wired, you can stop reacting in pain. That was a big one for me. You can stop reacting in anger and pain and start responding with compassion. Yeah, yeah. That took me a little while, but yes, you absolutely can. Number three, number three, learn how to communicate with him. Yeah. Autistic communication is direct, logical, and often very literal. I will tell you, I am still working on this one. Okay. 25 years in, I'm better than what I was. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay. Be clear. No fluff, no fillers, direct. And here's another thing. Here's a tip. Give him processing time. And here's another thing. Silence doesn't always mean indifference or that he didn't hear you, or he just doesn't want to respond because he has an attitude, or I just don't want to answer the question. No, silence does not mean that. Sometimes it's just, he just needs time to process or think about it. And I did that the other day. I asked him a question, and I know he heard me, and it wasn't a big to-do question. Whether he answered or not, it wouldn't have mattered to me. But he really didn't answer the question actually till the next day, but I knew he was processing. I know that he was thinking about some other things. And so, oh, look, I use my tools, right? Yeah, I use my tools. Number four, take care of your own heart and mind, dear sister. Do that. This this one is so important. You can't pour from an empty cup. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You need support, dear sister. You need to take care of yourself. And sometimes you need a sisterhood who gets it, a community who gets what you're going through. That's why I'm here. That's why we're here and we're building this community of women who are on, this neurodiverse journey. And that's why I created my course, Frazzled to Fulfilled, building emotional connection with your autistic husband. And within that course is a community um, of women coming together, encouraging one another, strengthening each other, giving each other tips, all of those things to encourage us on this journey called marriage. So, my and I have taken all of my experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferences, and I've done my best to try to incorporate it into this course. And this course is for wives who, if you want to understand your husband better, if you want to learn to communicate with him effectively and reclaim your peace. Yes, ma'am, without losing your mind. Again, if you're ready to take a deeper dive, you're ready to learn the tools that can save your sanity and your mind and your marriage, well, click the link below and check it out. Frazzled to Fulfilled. Okay. Well, dear friend, if you're in a neurodiverse marriage, remember this. You're not alone. You're not crazy. And you're not unloved. No, ma'am. You're not. You're just married to a man whose brain works differently. And here's what's so exciting. And I believe God can still do something beautiful with that. He still can. I am a witness. Been married to my man for over 25 plus years, and I've seen God do some amazing things in him, in me, and through our marriage together. Okay. Well, if today's video spoke to your heart, dear friend, please like the video. Please, please, please subscribe and share it with another dear sister who needs some hope, who needs some encouragement, who needs the answer to this question of how to live with an autistic husband. But before you go, tell me this in the comments. What part of today's message spoke to you the most? I would love to hear your story. So until next time, stay peaceable, stay hopeful, dear friend, and keep choosing love.